organizers of PyMunich. We are also an agency, a company. We're called Tech5, and so we experiment. We do things for fun. It's really, there is no big business value behind this. This is more like a fun gesture. So if you like the cat, and I know you do like the cat because who the hell doesn't like the cat? Maybe next time we make a dog sticker. So feel free to put it anywhere. This is just for fun. Also, on the back side of the sticker, wrote, and this is now important, looking for speakers. This is important because if you have an idea about the talk, please talk to me, talk to Danny, talk to anybody really of us. We have this t-shirt, so it's easy to approach us or write us. And we also need hosts because as you can see, this crowd is 100 people. It's not so easy to find, especially with this catering. I know the bar is quite high, and I know our chips also don't really match the catering there, but we are open-minded, so talk to us. Being a host, being a speaker, this is very important for the meetup. Then we are also Python enthusiasts. Like I'm running this company, I'm running this meetup, but first of all, I'm a developer, I'm a Python coder. So I'm also looking forward a lot to learn what are the projects in Munich, to see what can we do, how can we cooperate. So we're not just doing this show, we're actually developing something. So talk to us about new libraries, anything. Maybe we can make a talk out of that. Good, so we'll have more back and forth conversation later. I think now we need to welcome Michael, who will tell us more about adesso, this wonderful general host.
Thank you very much. I don't know, perhaps this works?
It works, but
it works?
This is addition.
Ah, okay, this is addition.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I prepared some words in English because I talk sometimes English, often more and more English because adesso is growing. It's going to be it becomes an international company, and I'm also working together with our subsidiaries in some countries. But just to keep it short, I prepared some words, so not to bother you. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Michael, and I'd like to welcome you to this meetup this evening. Adesso. Adesso is attracting talent. I have been with adesso for almost 4 years now. Back then, we were just close to 5,000 employees, or adessi, how we ourselves call us. Today, we are over 10,000 employees. So we, are double as much as when I started. And adesso is 27 years old now. And so they say to me, I'm like an alter Hase. So I'm very long because I know this company when it was very kind of small. And 10,000 people, and 10,000 people working together in 63 locations in Germany, in Europe, and already outside of Europe now. With this company size, adesso is now the largest IT service provider based in Germany. In Munich, there are about 800 employees. And while growing, we saw that it's very important to keep the original spirit, the so-called adesso culture. That's very important to us. And that's why for us growing also means growing together. That's one of our claims, you can say. We are at adesso open-minded. We respect every other person, and we help each other as far as we can for finding answers and solutions for our everyday challenges. At adesso, we also live diversity. Every individual is seen as an individual and a respectable person, no matter of what age, what position, or what culture one is. And what makes us grow? The will to change, you can say. Today, the reasons for successful growth are always the same, the will to change. And people who give this will its shape in the form of sophisticated software. So, and now, slowly, I come to an end. So, software is a kind of a important word at the moment. So, and how do I contribute to this sophisticated software? help building sophisticated software. Well, at adesso, I had a competence center on the topic of business domain testing, we call it. This means that in my teams work test analysts, test managers, and also UI test automation specialists. So in the next slide, I can give you some tools we work a lot with, and our customers and clients work with, and tools where we are convinced that they are really helping in everyday's software testing business. And there is one tool, and I think some of you know it. It's the Robot framework. You can see it down there. And this also is used together with a Python programming language. And this, I think, is a perfect transition to your event this evening. I wish you all lots of fun and exciting professional exchange. Enjoy your time at adesso.
Thank you so much. Very nice introduction. Good. Now we want to welcome our first speaker, Furkan, please.
Okay.
So we need
Yes.
to put the microphone on you, like that.
Do I need to turn it on?
No, all good.
Okay.
So let's see your presentation. Oh, that's good.
Perfect.
Nice. So Furkan,
Yes.
our old good friend, cool Pythonista, he will tell us more about storytelling with Streamlit.
Yep.
Please, warm welcome to Furkan. Another time. He deserves it. First speaker of tonight.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you very much. Should I also keep it in my
I'll
hand?
just put it here.
Okay,
I'll
maybe
put it
it's-
on the max. So
Perfect. Thank you, Anton, for nice introduction. Welcome everybody. So I'm very happy that you all joined, even though like this amazing Munich weather. So today I'm gonna talk about the Streamlit. And quick question: how many of you heard of like Streamlit? Okay, it's not okay. It's more than what I expect. So it's cool. I don't know the online participants. So today for today's topic will be about the Streamlit. So let me introduce myself briefly. My name is Furkan, and I'm from Turkey, and then from this Cappadocia area, maybe you know, from this hot air balloons. And I live here in Munich for almost 1.5 years. And actually, my background is biology and genetics, so I'm coming from completely different backgrounds. And I'm working in a cancer biotech company as researcher / data scientist, also even like some cloud works. And so let's get started. So here's my agenda. I will talk about what the Streamlit is and what it does, what it provides. And then I will give a quick demo that I prepared for this talk. And then you will find the links, everything in my GitHub link. I will also share the GitHub link during my presentation. And then at the end, hopefully, I will get your questions answered. So all you know, like we are working with data, right? So at the end of the day, we need to present them. So how you present is your story, right? Okay, so you can find around a way to present like charts or PowerPoint presentation, but there's always a problem when it comes to a cycle, right? So when the data changes or the question comes in, hey, what if user asks for such a change, and then you need to rearrange all of the things. So it becomes a really huge an issue. So then you can just use Streamlit for that reason. So then let's briefly describe what the Streamlit is. It's actually an open source, a lightweight web app framework. So then you can work with any kind of you can play around with it. So, and then you can place any charts and graphs or data frames easily. And then I will walk through in my presentation. But first of all, I would like to start, why not to use Streamlit? I know it's like a contradicting, I'm presenting Streamlit, but I would like to just clear the difference, clear this point. So here on the right-hand side, you see the competitors of the Streamlit. So it's becoming like a star overall in the last few years. But of course, there are several use cases that Streamlit might not be the good fit. For instance, flexibility for the customizations. Of course, maybe some of you are familiar with the Vue.js or React or Angular. So it's not as flexible as those technologies because you have some certain components that you can only use in, like you can use in Streamlit. So you cannot divide the screen for 5 times or like horizontally, vertically. So it's not that much flexible. So if you are looking for such a flexible web framework, Streamlit is not the best friend for you. And for the scalability and performance concerns, okay, it's like always, like questionable what scalability, what performance you are looking for, but it might not be the best approach to develop or deploy a product which will be reached by millions of users. So, and last point, so this is changed with one of the recent releases. So testing the UI. I know it's like maybe some of you heard Selenium, and you might use Selenium for testing also Streamlit, but I did, and then it was painful, I have to say. So I'm just saving your future life, so don't use it. So there is new app test functionality there, but it's not still the best. So if you are really in such a love with testing the UI, maybe Streamlit is not again your best friends. So after talking about why not to use a Streamlit, let's focus on the Streamlit, and then you get it from the pip. So first reason, since I'm a bioinformatician, sometimes it comes to a point, hey, you have to rapidly prototype your product and then deliver the results as a paper, because we have a saying that publish or perish. So you have to come up with the project as soon as possible, and then your PI your lab manager pushing you too much, and then you cannot wait for developing something in Django as a backend or frontend with other technologies. You have to come up with the application. So for that reason, Streamlit is the best. So as you see on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side in the black screen, so it's super easy. So you can just import the Streamlit, and then you can read the data frame, and then have the nice chart on the right hand. So it's that quite simple and fast. And if you look at the documentation for a few minutes, you will get your first app done. So I guarantee you. So that was the first reason. It's really cool for rapid prototyping. So if you have a customer that needs some app or demo in 2 days, the Streamlit can be your best friends. And the second, so on the left-hand side, I showed one of the a quick snippet from Dash, its competitor. And on the right-hand side, you will see the Streamlit version of the same code. And what I don't like personally, maybe this is also this is the same for you. I don't like seeing HTML or CSS code within the Python. So you can put them into another places, but at the end you will see some HTML or CSS components. So it's going to be a sort of mix or soup. So, but on the other hand, on the right-hand side, the Streamlit is very Pythonic. So you will just write Python code, and that's all. So this is what I really like. Again, reminder, so you can still put HTML or CSS or custom JavaScript code within your Streamlit app, and then you can also release this as a component so other people can also utilize it. But the cool part is Pythonic, so you just work on it right in Python. And the third one is the user interactivity. As said in the beginning of my presentation, so sometimes user interactivity becomes a point, right? So they need to change the data or change the threshold or update the figure or anything. So, and then when it comes to getting this response and getting such a request and giving a response could be cumbersome in other libraries, because the callback functionality is getting make you annoy after a point, because if you have 100 inputs on the page, it's dealing with them with the callback is horrible, just horrible. But here in Streamlit, so you can just put your UI components and then make it refer it to just a Python variable. It's that easy. As you see, I just put a slider, and then the user changes it from 16 to 44, and then the whole page is refreshed, so it automatically rerun in the background, and then you can just easily print it out in the below line. And then another point I can already answer your question in your mind. So you don't have to, the users doesn't have to, or the Streamlit doesn't have to rerun the whole page when the user changes. You can have also the form and encapsulate it, and then you can say only just rerun the whole component or the page when the submit button is clicked. And the cool thing here is, again, referencing to a Python variable. So another amazing opportunity here in the Streamlit is it works like a charm with all the other Python ecosystem libraries like Pandas, Plotly, or Bokeh, or PyDeck, whatever you have as whatever you're using as a visualization library. So there is already a function that you can directly put it into your Streamlit app, and then there is directly a download buttons or all the other functionality. And the second thing is, if you are trying to develop a quick dashboard for your customer or for your internal use, so you will, whatever you need in terms of the component, like a date, time slider, or color pick, or the file upload, it will be there. So I will show all of them, hopefully, in my demo. So those are the main reasons why you should immediately start using Streamlit. So, and the last one, but not the least, is the deployment. So let's say you have the app you would like to deliver to your customer or would like to share with your paper as a project. So it's super easy. So you just go to the Streamlit web interface, and then you just copy the GitHub link that refers to your project, and then deploy in 30 seconds. And then you will get this your awesome.streamlit app. So that was overall the main components of the Streamlit. It's super convenient to use, rapid prototyping, easy and free deployment. So talk is cheap. Let's talk about the demo. I will show you the demo, and then you will find the code. If you would like to take a picture, you can take it. I can wait, or okay. I will just wait for a sec. Okay, then I can move to my demo. So I just activated my Conda environment and just quickly run the Streamlit run main py. So here, for the visualization purposes, I try to use all of the components just to make it make it happen. So you can put your images or have your such cool components for your dashboard because I also use for an internal use. And then in terms of components, you will not lack any components. And as said, if you lack, you can still implement, write your own HTML or CSS component and put it into the app. And let's talk about the data frames, because we are all of us working with the pandas. And then the cool thing is, so when you have a data frame, you can just easily visualize in a really quick manner. And then it could be also interactive. And then you can also put a chart within your data frame. And then there's always there's also a search functionality and other stuff coming for free for you and as a built-in. So I believe this is one of the coolest features, because I was working with a project, and then there was such a need, and then it's just super easy. And then you can also download as another file and then provide other functionality. And then you can also put your table as static. So let's go for the third page. So as said, this callback functionality is super easy in Streamlit. So I will show you in a second. So when you click search, switch in between the versions, I'm just doing for a demo. So you will easily get a response, and then as you see, the whole page is re-rendered again when something is changed. And here I provide a form to visualize. Let's say my name is Furkan, and as you see, so whenever I type, it's not rerun because I put it into a special form, so it's not going to annoy your user. So that's also another use case how you can utilize the inputs. And then you can send this to API endpoint or whatever you need. And let's talk about the plots and charts. As said, it works with Matplotlib, Altair, Vega, Plotly, Bokeh, or some others, maybe I don't know. And you can just directly put it in, and then there will be all interaction with interactive. So, and then you can easily put into several tabs, and user can zoom in, or all the components for the plotly. So it's super nice to interact with the plots directly in the same app and visualize them, because it's a bit difficult with other components. And let's talk about the machine learning. I know I already met with some people who are working as machine learning engineer or machine learning scientist. So, okay, we are training some models, and sometimes it comes to a point we need to deploy it, right? Or maybe we can ask user to trigger a pipeline. So Streamlit can be really handy in that point. So here in this demo, I will just create a new model. And here I'm just going to type the model name. And here on the left-hand side, you can also have the sidebar. And those actually random states, here I just intentionally put it here, because this information is held and saved across the whole pages. Even if I switch to 26, this information will be saved in NLP page or image page. So this is better for reproducibility. I just wanted to let you know such a functionality, because this might be the case you were looking for in future. And let's click Train XGBoost model. And here we will just visualize the model top features, importance, and then here you can just have a quick demo for your customer, and then you can, let's generate one more model with, I don't know, oops. Yeah, it's also good. Please. Let's train another model. So you can switch in between different models. So just look at the timestamp, because I forgot to change the name. And then you will see the plot is changing. I hope it's changed. It's reflected. So this part was for training. And let's talk about the prediction or deployments, right? So the user first select the model we trained above, right? So let's pick one of them. And then in this example, I used the iris data set. So user need to pick one of, arrange those features. So if the user clicks predict, it's Setosa. Or let's say it's another one, quickly. Again, Setosa. Today I'm very lucky. Okay, it's predicting a Setosa. It's how smart ML is. So, so that was the machine learning part. So this was very handy when I tried to deploy our own model and then ask when the user wants to play around with some configuration for the machine learning. And Streamlit also didn't forget about the NLP or LLM people. So here you can see a set. The random state information is stored across the pages. So we see here is this 26. And you can also utilize several other extensions. So those extensions are also developed by community, and then you can import it here. So in NLP applications, you can have such, I don't know for what reason, but have such functionality over there. So like annotation for certain words. And here, the coolest part is the chatbot whole UI thing. So here I'm just like returning a random answer as a hard-coded answer. So here you can utilize other models or put it into put some certain API key talks to GPT models or Llama model you deploy on somewhere else. Here you can also find a lot of examples that people utilize Streamlit for their LLM projects. So the cool thing is you don't need to work about the UI components, buttons, and whatever the interface things. So it just works like a charm. Last but not least, so the image data. I know some of you are working with image data. The cool thing is you can also upload images, videos directly into the Streamlit by dragging and dropping, and then you can utilize for instance, YOLO model to detect some objects. So here I would like to also demonstrate this application. So here I'm just picking one image, and then I'm setting some confidence, and then as you see, it's just calculating in the background and making the predictions, It just makes the visualization like a charm. It's super easy. And when you look at the GitHub, so the whole code looks like a 10 or 20 lines at the end. So it will just make your life super easy. So that was overall my demo. I hope you enjoyed the demo, and I will just continue with the showroom. So of course, I developed another app called OmicLearn. So OmicLearn is a machine learning platform for omics data sets. So our app is picked as the app of the month in, I think, December 2 years ago. And we publish our research. So I know it's like a bioinformatics topic, but if you are interested in such thing, ping me. And this is one of the examples I would like to show from our end. And another app is Prophet. I enjoyed too much while using it. It's using the Facebook Prophet for time series analysis. So you will, I was planning to write my own code, but then I realized this app, so it's just super handy. You can just go for it. And then I realized there are a lot of new apps are coming in. So like generating images, and because why you can't, why you shouldn't. And there are other examples I show you, like the LLM examples. Of course, you can also manipulate your real-time streams with some fancy technology, and you can also generate a code for your next model. And cool thing is, you can also develop your own app and then share across the social media, because I gave this talk also in Prague last year in November. And then I would like to say thank you, Streamlit, for sending such a nice t-shirt and also some stickers. So feel free to share your work. So it will be much appreciated. And I would like to say thank you for listening me. And then those are the links if you would like to reach out to me. And again, for the code, you will just see in my GitHub. So I believe I have enough time for questions.
Thank you so much. Now let's
Cool.
see. Questions. All right. First question. Yeah.
You showed us a magic trick how you put a rabbit down the hat in the Python process, and then it comes up in the web browser. The web browser doesn't natively run Python code, and the Python process doesn't natively display things in a web browser. So how does the web browser know what components were defined in the Python code? How does it work?
Good. So you are asking the input part. So, and then when it might change, is that correct? Or should I?
That's okay. I'm here for you.
Okay. So I think, as far as I understood from your question, how the Streamlit knows what changed, right? Or is this your question?
What components you declared in your Python code?
Okay.
And how to display them?
How to display them? What do you mean, actually? So maybe I didn't understand the question. Maybe we talk afterwards. Yeah.
Web components
Yeah.
in a Pythonic way, and still the web browser understands them, even though they were not declared in a format that's natively understood by a web browser.
Okay. So it makes the transition under the hood. So at the end, it's rendered as React component in the background. So you don't need to worry about how it's transited from Python code to web. If I understood your question. If not,
Well,
Fancy.
I'd like to know how that transition works.
To be honest, I don't know how this transition from Python component to React component works.
Okay, more questions? I see one question over there, and I rush. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
So you said you should not use Streamlit when coming to boundaries, like scalability problems.
Yeah.
Have you encountered any so far, or
Yeah.
what is a scalability problem in your sense?
Yep, perfect. So when I deploy this OmicLearn project, the issue is, so since we are running in, since we are training a model, so user components becomes super laggy at some point. I know it's also about how many CPUs or the computer performance, but this is what I felt. So when it comes to a lot of users, the UI components becomes a bit laggy. And if you include more components on the page, on the same page, it becomes even more laggy. So I mean, if you are putting in some few inputs and then just few plots, it's okay. And then if you make it like a larger and then put more plots on top of each other, it becomes very slow even during the loading the page. So that's what I encountered. At least this is what I get from my users as a feedback. Yep, sure, please.
On this, when you host, so they provide a hosting platform.
Yep, exactly.
Do they have any scalability for this there, or can you like just buy more CPUs on their hosting service, or how does that work?
I believe so far they didn't like specify such customization. So you are just using the free platform. Maybe they introduce a new like a selectability option, like for configuring what resources you need. So I'm not sure about that part, but so far we use the free version. And then actually I'd also deployed for a while on our AWS EC2 machine, and it was for sure better from the free resource because it's free, right? Yeah, I hope I answer your question.
Any more questions? Who dares to challenge Streamlit? Nobody. That's what I thought. Good. Thank you very much,
thanks so
Furkan.
much.
Great talk.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Amazing. Before we go on the break and eat the remains of this luxurious catering, I want to address one new problem that is like a luxury problem. The meetup is so big, it's really hard to like get to know each other, remember each other. It's not this 20 people cozy little format anymore. So a little kick in that direction. Let's see. First of all, who is here the first time today? Like first time. All right, that's quite some people. So we need to give a nice onboarding to those in our PyMunich family, please. Next question. Let's see who is working with data science. Data scientists. They usually tend to, talk about their data science things. Good, good. So you guys can occupy one table there. I know data science talk is always one of the strongest. Now, webcam. Who is doing web development? Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. If you may, of course. Not really good. Okay, and now the trendy thing. Who's doing machine learning? Machine learning. Oh, those are the smartest ones. Great. So talk to each other. I know it's like it's a huge amount of people as to a meetup, so it's not easy to remember the names. Therefore, we have them here. But yeah, this is the point, networking. This is the only reason we do this, learning and networking. So do that, please. And I see you in 10 minutes here again. Thanks.
Выключи. Yeah. Okay. So, hello everybody. My name is Eugene, and today I take a chance to introduce Yulia, our next speaker. She had a topic: automated publishing of technical documentation.
Whoa!
Yeah? How cool it sounds, yeah? Right?
Yes, thanks for the introduction. Yeah, just a moment. I need to check how much time has passed. Okay, yeah, hi everyone, and thanks for coming. Let me share some knowledge with you, my Python knowledge, my limited Python knowledge. Yeah, I want to showcase some Python-based implementation. It's for publishing software documentation. Yeah, like documentation that is based on Git, and we in our company, we basically synchronize Git-based documentation and Confluence documentation. I will explain later why. Me, myself, I'm a technical writer, and Sincere is a software vendor, and we, the software is a digital asset management platform. Yeah, so let's start. So what this all is about? As I said, yeah, there is sometimes you wanna have this Git-based documentation, software documentation, and sometimes you wanna publish it to other platforms. I will explain why we wanted to do this. I just want to warn you that different approaches to this challenge are possible. And we went only for one of them. And because there happened to be two people in the company who had Python knowledge, like my former colleague and me, we went for this Python-based automation. And I will show you the design of the whole publishing pipeline, and then I go into details and explain how you can actually make Git and Confluence API talk to each other to enable this automation. And I will show you which APIs actually exist and how they can be useful for this use case. And I will also share with you few Python libraries that may be useful if you want to work with both of those APIs, and if you want to synchronize between those platforms. I will explain why this is not always so easy. So first of all, how did we end up doing this homemade automation? This is not of the Sensia product, not at all. This is used completely, and I will be giving examples of open source libraries, but actually this is like the code on itself, the result is used internally, and I can't share it, but all building blocks are from different open sources, so you can also put them together. Yeah, so why actually, why this problem actually emerged? Why do you want to host your software documentation on Git? Most of the time you do it if you have an open source project, but also if it's not open source, if it's commercial, usually you want to have one source of truth, one single source of truth, so your developers just create documentation in the code or close to the code. They just do it in a Git repository where they create the main code. So this is easy from them because it's not separated from the code. I think with developers, I also mean data scientists, like programmers in general. And of course, it's easy to create documentation in this markdown format. And with Git, it's also easy to manage versioning. That is particularly important for software, especially if it's not a cloud version, but something that you need to install manually as a customer, and then you may have like a backwards compatibility problem. So you really need to know which version you are downloading. You know this problem probably with from using different Python libraries. Like one version may be able to do something that the previous cannot. There can be some like compatibility issues, and so on and so on. So the main challenge in our company was that this Git format was not intuitive for non-developers, and we actually use Confluence as a collaboration platform. And we have a lot of other users, also internal ones, for the software documentation that do not really want to go to Git and read the documentation there for various purposes, like project managers. And of course, for our customers, this is not something they can use at all. So we came up with a solution. This solution has been basically set up by a former colleague of mine. And due to the data protection issues, I can't tell his name. I would love to thank him publicly for doing this great job, but I'm not allowed to. So thank you, my former colleague. So basically what two of them actually have done, they set up publishing pipelines, and you may see on the very left side, those are source code repositories for different projects that I also named here, like HCMS is a headless CMS, and Content Picker is also part of this product offer. And then there is a Java-based application, but I won't be talking about this today because we are not a Java meetup, that takes this documentation and pushes it to one designated repository. And then here my talk actually starts. Here in the same repository, we have Python scripts that transform Markdown and using Jenkins based automation, write it to Confluence. And then we also have some viewport plugin for Confluence that eventually transforms it into a website where also customers can read this documentation. So we will focus on this automation between GitLab and Confluence, close to the middle. So how do we set up this automation? There are possible ways of doing this, and I'm currently working on actually changing this setup because like a lot of those things are not necessarily like a designated repo is just once too much, and we do not need it. But basically, if you want to have this kind of sync between your Git documentation and your Confluence documentation, this can be achieved by using APIs on both sides. Like I won't focus on if you want to write something to Git, I just provided those as examples. We actually use only this left part for reading information from Git. And I will show this GitLab documentation, REST API documentation. So what you can do, you can, for instance, catch when a commit happens, commit or merge request, or it's called pull request on GitHub, but on GitLab it's called merge request. And you can catch when something happens, something committed, and change something in the documentation. You can also sort if you want to commit to only Markdown files, or if you want to commit to other types of files, if you want to like catch Java doc or something like this. And then there is an API endpoint that will basically help you to trigger this kind of automation. This is one of the endpoints you may want to use for this purpose. Sorry, now I think I have to reshare somehow. Yeah, sorry, wrong window. Yeah, and you also can select for which branch and for, of course, for which repository you are doing it. Quite clearly, you can list Markdown files in a repository, so you do not catch changes in any file, right? But you can, using a regex expression, you can say in this repository, list me files, and then now only take Markdown with the Markdown extension. You can also select from which branch you want to get these changes, and limit which information you are picking up from the Git repository. And then you can also get just a complete Markdown file. And if you write your documentation in Markdown, you can get it as a plain text, or you can also get it in HTML format, or at least from GitLab, you can get it as an HTML. And also you can get attachments like everything, like apparently any file. And this is helpful because in a markdown file, you may want to embed some picture as a PNG file, for instance. Yes, and then you may need this endpoint. And then on the other side, I'm providing this on Confluence example, but there are also other platforms that help you to create a website for your software documentation. Like Confluence is a paid one, but there is also Bookstack and also other plugins directly for Git. And Confluence has different endpoints that allows you to create pages, update pages, upload attachments, and also create versions of your document. You can, I will show you, this is the whole documentation, and it explains everything is related for pages, what you can do. It is very useful because it basically provides you with a Python code. You do not need even to write anything. Yeah. The challenges of using Confluence API is that if you create a page, you need to attach it to some page, to another one. And for this, you need to be careful with the IDs of those pages. It's easy to mess up. Other useful Python libraries, this is actually the part why I'm here, like which Python libraries you can use for this kind of automation. For reading information from GitLab, you can use basic requests library just for, creating API requests just normally, but there is also a specific Python GitLab library which has been created for working with GitLab API specifically. And this kind of libraries may be convenient because it is very difficult to mess up the authentication. As I learned painfully, I will also provide an example about Confluence. Also, JSON library is very useful because you will get a lot of responses if you need to sort the information from a previous API call before you can actually start writing everything or take information from GitLab. For Confluence, yes, there is a generic Atlassian, so-called Atlassian library. It used to be known as a Confluence library, but then they changed it in the name to Atlassian Python API, and it's slightly changed. Why this can be useful is because they help you to avoid issues with authentication that somehow turned to be quite tricky with Confluence. I can't explain why, but I messed it up a lot of time. And then this library basically has a method for any kind of action you want to perform, like updating pages. So you do not have to take this request library and create your own custom code. You can just take an existing one. One of the very important libraries, and the last one on my list, except for regex, we won't go into details here. This library you will need specifically if you really want to write markdown data to Confluence, because you need to perform a certain format conversion. And this is also very tricky and very painful part. Because Confluence has its own format based on HTML, but not quite HTML. And there is a library written years ago. And the interesting thing about it is that the most recent version of this library is great anyway. But if you want to create something custom like we did, you will need to go to the original old version. And in this old version, you will need to basically just copy all classes and rewrite them if you want. Those are different renderers that help you, convert links, convert attachment links, and stuff like that, which is very important. Otherwise, you lose all your information. I think that was all from my side. Yeah, I already over time, so thank you for your attention. Any questions?
So, first question. Do I understand it that you do a round trip so that the people can either contribute to the Markdown files in Git, or also they can contribute to the Confluence pages, and both are synced with each other, or just one way from Git?
It's only one way, yeah. Only from Git to Confluence for now.
Okay. The other question, why don't you use mature libraries like Pandoc for the conversation or translation of the different document styles, and especially as Confluence itself uses a Markdown variant internally?
Yeah, maybe I start with the second question. There are also such alternatives, like you, thank you. Like you can basically take a paid plugin for Confluence, and either you copy paste your Markdown content into it, or there are also plugins that will also connect to Git API and take information from there. You don't have to do anything. First, they are not for free. Second, there are some problems, like they want you to host your, like if you have Confluence in the cloud as a cloud offering, you have to have GitLab as a cloud offering. Otherwise, they do not connect. And then if we have GitLab that is not on cloud but Confluence in cloud, or other way around, then it doesn't work. So this was our case. With PandaDoc, I don't know, I did some extensive research, but I don't know why so first I end up with this mistune because my colleague already used this one. And we also had some specific formatting elements, I guess. And then he went for this library. And yeah, I keep maintaining, but there is no particular reason why we're not using anything else. Yeah, there are different ways to attack this.
More questions? Okay, you're first.
Thank you for your talk. I just wanted to ask the opposite place. What if Confluence is a source of truth and you need, I don't know, to get notifications, for example, when some articles are updated, put them somewhere, or storage? Did you consider that?
Yeah, like it's not really our use case. So we have one product that is where documentation is written for developers, and it's so technical that no one else can write it. So we do not need Confluence users actually to touch it. Usually they are not able to contribute to this particular type of documentation. So this is a product that we sell as a source code, and customers just customize it. And so we do not need this opposite type on synchronization, but it would have been possible if you set up a webhook on Confluence, and then you trigger the automation, and when if there is a change on the Confluence page, it gets written back to Git. It could be possible, yes, it's not a problem.
Thank you. Yeah? No question anymore?
Yeah.
You sure? All right. More questions? Yeah, I'm coming. Yep.
How do you test? That's actually the question.
Okay, nice question.
Yeah,
you need my
can you hear me? Yeah, so I do not have my, thank you. I do not have my company laptop with me. This is my private one, so I can't show it. But usually, I have the Git repository cloned on my laptop, and then I go to terminal, I run the script, I run this Python script, and then I open Confluence and check if the page has been updated. This is a way of testing. I don't know. Yeah, and then I think that's the only case how we had to change it to test it. Yeah.
So it's like totally local. Like you don't have any APIs, it's just local testing.
What do you mean with testing the APIs? I mean, before, while I was doing this research, and because I plan to make a bit of changes in this tool, and also because we moved from Confluence, non-cloud Confluence into cloud Confluence, I had to adjust the API because Confluence cloud API is different from the server and data center version. So what I did, this is actually a good question. I just used Jupyter notebooks, just wrote API requests and pushed this information to the API, and then checked if the Confluence page has been updated. Yeah, that's the way. If there is no testing automation, this is not like the case where you would request a QA capacity for setting something like this up. Yeah. Yeah.
More questions? Okay, I don't see. So, thank you, Yulia. Yeah, okay. Nice you.
Yeah. Thank you. So maybe slightly provocative one. Have you thought about what actually, Confluence being the kind of an industry standard for publishing documentation is obvious choice, but for your use case, does it actually provide enough value to justify the pain of getting even the simple things like a markdown to publish, without paying for the special license?
Yeah, so the answer is we had our documentation. We previously hosted our documentation using our own software product, but it had a very inconvenient XML editor. It was at that time. Now we have an X editor integration. This is like more convenient editing tool. And the problem is that actually the biggest part of our documentation is a user documentation where you actually want to add some cool formatting elements for better user experience. And this is not possible with Markdown. I will probably show you what kind of documentation is created using this automation quickly, because like to answer your question, no, I do not think that Confluence is a good choice for this purpose. Let me show you something very, very. Yeah, I think I ran out of time. So
it's okay.
yeah, just maybe check this later. This is called Online Solutions. You will see it's purely a developer documentation. But in general, yeah, Confluence is like really a big pain, and I personally didn't want it, but we have this internal Confluence, which is like for everyone, for every employee, like not for everyone, from every employee in our company, and this is a collaboration platform, an internal one. And part of this internal documentation, which is then published to the documentation portal. But we want to use Confluence to enable employees searching this documentation, access it quickly. So this is the reason, yeah, for this integration. I'm really sorry for extending my talk.
It's okay, we're not in a hurry.
So that's it? No more questions?
You can still have one more question.
Yes.
Like the final, the ultimate question.
Yes, exactly.
Putting a dot in the stuff.
Yeah?
Anyone?
No dots?
No dots.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
Thank
fine.
you, Yulia, very much.
Thank you for hosting. Thanks.
And next, I give the word to Anton.
Yeah, next I will also give a word to Theo, but first he needs to set up his laptop. You just need to make sure that the screen works. Hey guys, do we need a microphone here? Yeah, you do need a microphone.
At least for streaming, yeah?
Stream doesn't work.
Should
How
come.
you pick that?
Present.
Share screen there.
Yeah. Enable screen sharing.
It's coming.
Yeah, we want to catch up with the schedule.
Have a 5-minute break for him to set up.
Nah, we have a schedule, but we will have time after this talk. And you know, with this, every time I go out of this room, I see there is less and less and less
Should work,
catering.
yeah.
Remind me of this platform movie. Anybody
Should
saw
be there.
movie, The Platform? It's when the platform was going down and each floor was eating some food on it, and by the end it's like empty. And now platform is almost at level 0. Okay, put the slides on.
So,
Because this one is important. It's about crafting clean code. So it's Munich standards have to be high, right? We have to pay attention to this one really close.
Next option, I want to switch slides. I will check if it's like
this.
Okay, I think we're set up. There is a microphone.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah, but I see only the first line. Did you,
Should come now the second. Let's see.
Did you share full screen or only presentation?
Your screen. Let's try again. So we go here, present. Present. What? Present. Share screen.
Share screen, yeah.
And share screen.
Entire screen.
Entire screen.
This.
Okay.
Click on
And
it.
here. Okay.
All right.
So, how is it?
Presentation.
Any feedback?
Fingers crossed.
Do we see the
Yeah,
slides?
just put it on.
Yeah.
Put it here. Sure. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Then
We see
we
something.
need more applause to tell. Come on.
Oh, thanks a lot. Good. Okay, so first things first, yeah. Clean code is here. I hope it was here before. I hope it will continue to be with us. But to achieve this clean code, I would like to ask a few questions. And I would like to have this session a bit interactive, because clean code could be many things. And this is what I'll try to highlight today. And I'll refer to clean code from different perspectives, because in teams, we don't have the same type of person multiplied endless. Yeah, we have different type of people, different experiences, different skills, different desires for clean code, and so on. And I will present this from my perspective, because there are some challenges. And I would like to discuss with you about this. So let's move forward. A bit about me. So today I'm a product owner and software architect for internal tools. This means could be web, could be compiled C++, could be automation, could be whatever. Since 2005, software architecture, different software and firmware development, and since '94, programming was my I guess the only hobby I really had. Yeah. Let's start with a question. So my question would be to you: which one of you knows what is PEP 8? That's a simple question. So have you heard of PEP 8? Okay, me too. But are you using it? This is the question, and I guess you will. So the second question would be if any of you is using, let's say, linters in general, anything for linting. Yeah, linters. I guess we have clean code already. So thanks a lot for this. And the last question, if I would say list comprehension, would you consider that clean code? Who would say yes? List comprehension, is that clean code? Yep. I was expecting this somehow. And I used to tell this to my colleagues. I tell them, and actually these are not my words, yeah? They are from somebody else bigger than me. And he said, code is written for people to read it. And what I tell my colleagues is, if you are in this team, you don't have to write crazy code to show me that you are really smart. No, you are already here. I know you are smart. Now we have to write code that is easy to be debugged. So imagine list comprehension or something else, also smart. You want to debug it, you might have to rewrite it. And maybe you don't want to do that. So let's move forward. I only have a few slides about clean code, so let's see what we have here. First, I would highlight these qualities of software. Let's call them ilities. And I highlighted a few of them: maintainability, complexity, reliability, security, testability, and scalability. I'm reading from here because there are so many others. In case you are not aware of this, let me move this pop-up from here. So there are so many qualities that you could take care of when doing your software. And in case you want to see a more extensive list, I would recommend to follow ARC42 model from this link. So from this link, you could remember arc42.org, and then you can find a long list of qualities that could be good for your software. By the way, anybody using ARC42 already? Good. Well, you might want to start. I have nothing to do with them. They are, as far as I know, they started from here, from Munich. And it might be interesting. This is a different way of presenting software architectures and a bit more. So let's remember ARC42. And moving forward. I don't own the truth, but I can tell you what I learned from my experience. And in my experience, I've seen that in different teams, I had juniors, I had experienced developers, and I had, let's call them seniors. These are people that really did a lot, like a lot. Yeah, so experience plus, 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 plus. And why I highlight these three types? Well, if you want to start a new project and you want to define the rules of that project, it might be easier with some of them, but it might not be so easy with the others. And I hope you can guess with which one it would be easier. Yeah, and it doesn't mean that it is good or bad. And for this, I have another slide. Yep, there are some projects. Yeah, could be a new project, could be maybe you land in a project which is in the middle. Yeah, started years ago, will continue for years, or maybe you landed in a company, in a team where you have to take care of a legacy project. And the question is, how clean should the code be for that legacy project? And if it is not clean, do you want to change something? So I will come back to that. Now, I would say that in order to have clean code, you might prefer to work on the mindset first. And it could be your mindset or could be the mindset of the entire team. And I kept it simple with these three keywords: clean code, meaning clean architecture, coming from a clean mindset. And there's really a lot on the internet about that. Again, nothing to do with this guy, but he's amazing. So remember Uwe. You can Google his name. He has amazing speech on YouTube about, I think the last I saw was continuous architecture. So try to do a lot from what he says. He is great. He will tell you a lot of things about this clean architecture and clean mindset. Good. Now a bit about mindset. How can we get this clean code mindset? I would say first, what I highlighted here, team support. So you can get team support like introduction or ramp up trainings or so on, so that you get to be on the same level with your team. And it doesn't mean that the team has a clean code, but at least you get to the same level. Then after you got your trainings, you start to code and you get some peer reviews or maybe even pair programming and so on. And this is how the team can support you. And there is more. But what if this team doesn't really support you? What can you do? Yeah. And what if you have to change somebody's mindset? Should you expect something? How is change? In my experience, change comes with a lot of resistance. But hopefully we become a team. And we have the same mindset and we have the same set of rules. Now, coming back to experience and mindsets and type of projects, I would say juniors or not, yeah, but I would say less strict to their own mindset and more open to new rules and new methodologies. And this is what I highlighted with green. Let's use the mouse here. So in my experience, it is easier to introduce new rules here in this junior mindset with new projects. Yeah, if it is a legacy project, maybe you don't want to refactor, maybe you don't want to add new rules and so on, because everything suddenly will be red. Yeah, everything is bad, all the dead code and duplication and all the metrics go bad. Yeah, but if you start with a new project, maybe you want to introduce such rules, and you for sure will get enough support from these people, because if they work with passion, they'll be happy to code clean. You should get a lot of support from experienced people because they know how to do it. And you will get a different type of support from seniors. They should not be against, but they will ask the question, yes, we introduce new rules, but what is the cost of that? And what is the benefit? And balancing these three types of mindsets, in my experience, this is the only way to achieve success in a mixed team. If you work with juniors, this is the rule, PEP8, linting, this is the way. Yeah, if you are lucky, let's say, to have this mix of personalities in your team, I think this is where we can earn the most. Good. And I marked it here with kind of red, although I believe this is where we can learn a lot from each other. So new mindsets, but also a lot of experience. And let's move forward. I mentioned that the team can support you and trainings could support you so that you can get a new mindset. But not everybody will get it. And now coming back to my position today, I am not programming that much anymore, but I have to be sure that what we deliver is clean, is high quality. And how do I do that? Well, I could go to each of my colleagues and say, please, please, please do this, do that, yeah? That's not really ideal, yeah? Also because it takes a lot of time. Imagine that you have to do a review for somebody who's not coding clean, and then after review you say, yep, please change that, yeah? He changes but introduces something else, and so on and so on, and this way we lose, I would say, a lot of time, my time, your time, and we lose a lot of energy and a lot of motivation. We just lose them. And I like to refer to something that I learned, I think, here at the Python meetup a few years ago. There was somebody saying, talking about front ends and back ends. Not sure if it was you actually, saying that I prefer not talk to my front end colleagues, say, hey, don't call my API like that. I prefer the back end to scream at him. I say, oh, wrong input, sorry. So with this, we earn time for each of us. We stay happy in a good relation, I would say. So how can we do it? Well, what we could do is to also rely a bit on the infrastructure. Yeah, so you could introduce post-commit hooks. I'm talking about linting now. So after you commit and push, your code is linted. Yeah, it goes into a pipeline. From that, it comes back with a verdict, clean enough, or some changes to be done, and so on. And here I refer to this term of quality gates. And now maybe one more question for you. Anybody here using SonarQube? I like your answer. Good. So the point is, maybe there are some other tools. If you are aware of others, please bring them up. In my experience, SonarQube is just one of them that is able to provide the verdict. So after you push your code, the pipeline runs and you get a verdict. Well, green or red. If it's red, you have to see what you have to change. Yeah, and this is your choice. You are free to choose to code clean or not. Yeah, and if it's green, then we take it. There is also pre-commit hooks, and this will save even more time because let's think about live linting. So while you type your code, you already learn if that code is good enough. Of course, it doesn't test a lot of things, but at least linting, you can do some checks. And this is live linting, saving your time, saving reviewers' time, saving infrastructure time, saving a lot of resources and all these things. Yeah. What else I've seen is that not everybody prefers a modern IDE. And because of that, I felt that I have to write it down. I don't care if you use PyCharm, VS Code, Emacs, whatever. Yeah. But some IDEs help you more. They can, while you type, I'm not talking about suggesting words and auto-completion. I'm saying about really telling you what is wrong. So they run a linter while you type, and while you type, you see, yep, this should be capital or small or kebab case or camel or whatever, yeah, depending on the rules. And I don't care if somebody is using Notepad or Kate or VI or whatever. Yeah, it is about being efficient. And this is what I found that could help us. Again, in my context, this is what helped us. PyCharm, licensed, again, nothing to do with them. I'm not selling it. The same with VS Code, which is free, cross-platform, so available. And one more thing, there are several linters that could be integrated. One being exactly this SonarQube. So there is, while you type, you can run PyLint. The code editor will run for you PyLint. Yep, and you see. And in parallel, it could connect to the SonarQube, which is configured with some rules that are agreed at team level. So run the linting standard, also run the project type linting. And this you can do with such editors. For me, this is not rocket science, should be there since ages, but I see it's not yet. And this is why I felt that it would be good to mention it now. Good. I would kind of skip the next two slides. So I listed here, you can take a photo if you want. There are a few linters. What I felt important to mention here is that some linters are good for live linting, like PyLint, for example. You type, you get the answer. There are some linters for, remember, legacy projects where you might not want to change too much, but maybe you still want to change. So then how do you refactor an entire project? Yeah, running PyLint will take a lot of time. But I hear that RAF is quite fast, parallel processing and so on. So I hear, I didn't use it myself, but this is what I get from the other teams, that if you want to refactor a legacy project, so a lot of code, then let RAF run. And there are a few others, type checking and so on, like MyPy and Black. Good. There is also a table in case you want to take a photo of this. It shows in which case it might be better to run one or the other. Yeah, you can find, this is public info. Yeah, you can find it on the internet anyway. But let's remember, some are better for live typing, some are better for refactoring a lot of code. Good. And for the last slide, I wanted to highlight again SonarQube and what it brings to projects and teams. So first, it brings a quality profile, meaning that, and let's come back to PEP8. PEP8 is a huge list of rules, yeah, for clean code. I don't know, 300, 400 rules, yeah. But maybe at team level, you decide that not all of them should be applied for different reasons. Legacy projects, you know the code is bad, but you trust it. It is reliable. You don't want to touch it. So then you say, we disable this rule, we disable this rule, we have our quality profile. And based on this quality profile that you define, then you get a quality gate. So let's remember the pipeline, you push your code, it qualifies against this set of rules, and then it comes back with a verdict. Is it good or is it not so good? And this is the verdict that you can get from SonarQube. That's all I had to say, so thanks, and code clean. And if there are questions, yeah, I'm here.
So, thank you for a nice talk. It's me again. Any questions? I see there. I'm coming.
Thanks. How do you think the latest generation of AI tools will affect clean code? I'm talking about the tools that actually write code for you.
I know what you mean. And I would say in unforeseeable ways. Yeah. Of course, today you can already ask the question, please clean this code for me, or please refactor it, or at least write some, write comments for it. Yeah. Write tests for it, write unit tests, write anything that you want, rewrite it. Yeah. Optimize it, optimize for performance, optimize for readability, and so on. Yeah. If we go back to SonarQube, it reports complexity. Yeah. Code complexity. You can have cyclomatic complexity or cognitive complexity. Yeah, how many tests you have to implement, or how much, cognitive complexity. This was quite interesting for the others from my team. And it means when you want to change one line of code, how much of the project you should have in your head for changing one line of code. Yeah, and it's diverse from here, but I would say unforeseeable ways. Yeah, it should be able to do all we need. Do you have an opinion on this?
I haven't used them that much. I'm I mean, so far with data protection rules in place, it was a bit difficult to use them on my previous projects. But it's a question that I always ask myself. I envision them becoming more predominant in the future, and then it's something that would really weigh heavily on the code base and the quality.
Right. Right. We have the same experience here in my team. So yeah, it's a long way for AI, but in the same time, the time might not be so long. Yeah, it's an acceleration, I would say exponential. So yeah, it can do a lot and should be able to do it soon. I'm not selling it.
Okay, thanks. From my side, I can say that when I use machine-generated code, I usually copy-paste it to PyCharm, then format it, and then rewrite. Next questions? You ladies first.
Thank you for the interesting talk. I'm just curious, what is your opinion about list comprehension? You said that,
It hurts. For me, it hurts because this is something that I would really like to write. But when you have to debug it, it could be difficult. Yeah. So yeah, let's use it, but let's still try to be as clean as possible when writing it. Yeah. It's a smarter and also optimized. So why not use it? Yeah.
would you suggest to go back to models in case it was too long?
Questions that you don't want to answer. So in terms of I would say, in my opinion, I prefer to use list comprehension. Yeah, it doesn't mean that is so easy to read for everybody, but I think it's easy enough. So I'm using it. Would you use it?
This is the beauty of Python.
Of course.
So much shorter.
Yeah.
Also, there are probably also features that list comprehension based on generators. If I'm right. Yeah.
I have to add something else here. So I had to transition several projects from Perl to Python. Python is guiding you, almost forcing you to write clean code. In Perl, it's like the Wild West. You can do whatever in so many different ways. Yeah, in 100 lines of code, you could do the same in 5 ways. Yeah. So when you come from such a project, I prefer to be more strict. Yeah, but only because of that. Yeah. So list comprehension is something good. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Alexander.
Yeah. Once more to the list comprehension. So if you don't like list comprehension because of the debuggability, how about the other things like lambda expressions and so on? That's the first thing. And the other thing I want to go in, you have had a lot of code formatters on your slides, but not the really common linters like Flake 8 with all the plugin systems on your slides, which is a very convenient way of doing it.
It should be included.
I do know a very senior and legacy code that is much cleaner code and is more willing than performing changes every year than other early on starters.
I agree with you here. So there are linters that I excluded. That's I don't know. I guess it's an error because it should have been there. Maybe the first one. Okay, PyLint is a default, but this should be there. As about experience and reformatting, of course, this depends on the mindset. And what I try to achieve here is to move us a bit towards a specific mindset. If you have it, should be happy. Good.
Thank you. More questions? All right, I'm coming. Far away.
Faster.
I'm loud enough.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hi, I just have like a really kind of side topic question because I was also working in engineering for like 6 years. I've never seen you because of course it's a big company.
Nice.
Yeah, like 16,000 people. I'm just curious which team or which department are you? Because I know that Infineon recently started a lot of activities with AI and machine learning. I'm just curious in which division is essential or some business unit.
So I'm currently developing software tools, so internal tools for the IP department. Some of them are for the IP above the gym. If you know the location, it's above the gym. Yeah.
Above the gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the point is, I do some tools for our department and some for the entire company.
Okay.
So yeah.
So it's essential.
But this is IP. So IP.
Thank you.
Thank you for a question and answer. Any questions? I do not see. All right. That's also, I would like to say that why it's important to have these PyMunich events to give a chance to people to have a networking.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Applause. So, Anton?
Stay with me.
Yeah.
I have good news. Adesso is not kicking us out yet. And there is this fridge with beer over there. And you can understand what is the mission. That's the mission. That is mission number 1. Then mission number 2 is everything that we said in the beginning. We want to get to know all of you. We want to make you speakers. We want to just chat about the technology, chat about business, anything really. Also, feedback to Meetup is highly appreciated. Like we do the streaming now. I think looks cool, like fairly cool. Like, look, Mom, I'm on YouTube, but we know that things are not working perfectly, but we see it on another side of this Meetup. So we do need your feedback, but very easy, like just approach and say, how can we improve? What topics are you most interested in? And what topic can you possibly deliver as a speaker? Yeah, very, very happy to chat with you. I think we owe a big thank you to our host, Adesso. Let's make an applause for them. And make sure anybody in the audience that could deserve it. Then a big thanks to our speakers, of course. Nice people. And then co-organizers. So this gentleman and this wonderful lady over there who's too shy. She does not program Python, but she sings really well. So hopefully at the next meetup, she will sing us a karaoke. All right, let's go get that beer. Thank you very much. See you next time. It's in 3 weeks, by the way. Music.
Music. Right.
I think we met last time.
Yeah, I remember you.
In March, yeah.
I think Wagon or something.